This video is proudly sponsored by Gamersgate. Download games anytime, anywhere. Visit Gamersgate.com.
Truth be told, Splinter Cell Blacklist could have been a huge disappointment. Stealth fans were divided with 2010's Conviction, starring a more action-oriented Sam Fisher, and many were worried that Blacklist would take the series further into the third-person action genre and away from stealth. Then the announcement came that the iconic Michael Ironside would no longer be voicing Sam Fisher. Things were looking grim? But yesterday we got our hands on Blacklist, and now today, it's hard to put the controller down to write this review. To allay everyone's fears early, Eric Johnson does an amazing job playing the role of Sam, and this is easily the best Splinter Cell game since Chaos Theory.
Man down! Man down! On the hit! Kyle! Get him stable!
Set after the events of Conviction, the President tears down 3rd Echelon and opens 4th Echelon and plops Fisher in the driver's seat. The terrorist group known as the Engineers warns the United States to withdraw all troops globally or they will make good on their exponentially escalating threats called the Blacklist. It's up to Sam, Grimm's daughter, and a few other faces both old and new to discover who is behind the plots and stop the Blacklist. The main campaign is big, gigantic even. In fact, it might be twice the size of Convictions, but that all depends on your playstyle. Run and gunners might be able to finish the game slightly faster, but they would also be missing out on a lot the game has to offer. In fact, on a number of missions, running and gunning will pretty much guarantee failure, and that's without touching the side missions. They take the player all over the world in a huge variety of settings. Each map is very distinct from one another, and they all present the player with very open and wonderfully stealthy paths to take. The side missions themselves are very similar to the deniable ops missions from Conviction. However, they don't recycle the same maps as the main campaign. Each one is set on its own huge open environment. They're broken down into 4 types, all of which can be played cooperatively. The very stealthy missions, where you can't be spotted at all, and you gain a bonus for not disturbing guards. The mostly stealthy mode, where you need to wipe out all the enemies in a given area before moving on. Being spotted will attract more guards. A horde-like mode, and the exclusive co-op-only missions. The side missions alone are easily the size of an entire Splinter Cell game, and completing them grants new gear for Sam that can be used in the campaign and the side missions. Controlling Sam is remarkably easy on both mouse and keyboard or a controller, though we do recommend using a controller if you plan on getting it for the PC. The analog sticks come in remarkably handy when you want to fine-tune Sam's speed in a tight situation. The same sticky cover mechanic from Conviction is back, however, scooting between 2 points is much more risky this time around. Enemies will pick up on you pretty quickly. Mark and Execute is also back, where you can tag multiple enemies and take them down simultaneously, but if you're a stealth purist, Mark and Execute is disabled on the Perfectionist setting of the game, as is the ability to use sonar through walls on your night vision goggles. Successfully completing missions grants you with cash that can be spent on buying new gizmos or upgrading all of your gear. The game rewards playing stealthily. You're awarded the most points if you manage to sneak by all your enemies. Knockouts give more experience than silent kills, loud kills are given less, and so on. You can get extra cash during each mission by exploring a bit and finding dead drops. If you're quiet and don't raise the alarms, you can hack a Blacklist laptop before the enemy wipes its hard drive. And each map also tags one enemy as a high-value target that you can knock out, tie up, and cash in for extra loot. Almost everything that Sam carries can be customized. You can even change your camo type for your armor and swap out the colors of your night vision goggles in case you get tired of the classic green. The music and sound design are fantastic, slowing down when you're concealed but picking up to chaotic levels when you're spotted and the chase is on. Do we miss Michael Ironside? Of course we do, but Eric Johnson did an absolutely remarkable job with his performance, and we hope to see him back for future editions of the game. His voice sounds very similar to Indiana Jones, but with the confidence of a professional that could kill you 3 times before you know you're dead.
He's taking a nap. Good to meet you, General.
I don't talk to American spies.
Not even when they have a targeting solution on your wife and child? I mean, that is them that just came off the market, right? Looks like Gorma Sabzi for dinner tonight.
The PC version ran great on our machine, holding a steady 60 frames per second through the entire experience, except for one level when the snow started to fall, and then we dipped below 30. And gratefully, there are a ton of options to tinker with in case you aren't getting peak performance. Our biggest complaint may shock you. The night vision goggles don't work that well, which is surprising considering they're practically an icon for the entire series. Instead of allowing you to see in very dark places, they seem to simply wash the screen in a white to green to black gradient map. When we wanted to see an enemy in the dark, we switched to heat vision and then back again. It's disappointing, but definitely doesn't break the game. Aside from that, we ran into a few minor glitches in the cooperative horde modes, where enemies would sometimes get stuck in the environment, or they'd glide across the screen without moving their arms and legs. It was rare, but noteworthy. Ubisoft also brought back the amazing asymmetric multiplayer Spies vs. Mercs mode that made its first appearance in Pandora Tomorrow, where the tanky Mercs need to gun down those pesky spies in first-person point of view, and the sly spies need to steal, hack, and surprise those clumsy mercs in third-person point of view. It's one of the best multiplayer game modes of the past 10 years. If you haven't tried it yet, do so now. Ubisoft seems to have been very aware of its fans going into Blacklist. On the easier modes, the game is as accessible as Conviction, but on Perfectionist mode, the game should satisfy the most staunch stealth purist. In fact, completing the game on Perfectionist was one of the best stealth gaming experiences we've had in a long time, and the game is begging to be played again to complete it with fewer and fewer kills. Spies vs. Mercs and the cooperative multiplayer are simply icing on the cake. Strike that. They're a cake on top of the cake. The music and the sound design are amazing, the controls are spot on, and it's nice to see the customization extended even further. It's not just a great stealth game, it's a great game. Period. It will be a long time before Splinter Cell Blacklist is uninstalled from our hard drives. We don't give these often, but this is getting an Elder's Choice Award.